Academy, where I help you improve your vocabulary one word at a time. So, today's word is idiosyncrasy. And today I'm going to tell you what idiosyncrasy means, its etymology, and how to use it in conversation. So, grab some attention, grab a notepad, and let's get going. So, idiosyncrasy means the dictionary definition, that is, a mode of behavior or thought that is peculiar to an individual. So, in other words, any kind of behavior or thought pattern that is unique to an individual. It's neither a good or bad word. In fact, it's a neutral word, so it can be used to describe either a negative or a positive behavior or way of thinking. So an example of an idiosyncrasy could be that someone has a tic or a way of thinking or expressing themselves that is noticeably unique to that individual, or even down to the way they hold a pen. Like, I've got a great example of an idiosyncrasy of just that, someone holding a pen in a really unique way. So when I was in high school, I was in the same year group as another girl called Gillian. Shout out to you, Gillian, if you're watching. And she had a couple of idiosyncrasies. The one that really stood out for me was the way she holds her pen, or she held her pen back then. I don't know if she still does it that way now. But instead of this way, that everybody and their mothers hold their pens, Gillian decided she just wanted to be a little bit extra spicy and hold it like this instead. And I think that's a really great example of an idiosyncrasy. It's something that is unique about the way a person expresses themselves or the way they behave. Whether that's good unique or bad unique, I think Gillian's is great unique, but that's my personal opinion. So holding her pen in an unusual way was Gillian's idiosyncrasy. Okay, now enough of my story time. I'm going to tell you about the etymology of the word idiosyncrasy. When I say the etymology of a word, do not panic. It simply just means where the word came from, its origins, basically. The etymology of the word idiosyncrasy comes from Greek. It comes from 3 separate Greek words joined together to create that one word and its meaning. So the first Greek word is idios, which means own or private, then son, which means with, and krasis, which means mixture. So own or private with mixture is the original meaning of the Greek word idiosyncrasia, which is what idiosyncrasy comes from, translated into English. It means own with mixture. So, your own little flavor, basically. Now, in the early 17th century, that word had a slightly different meaning. It meant physical constitution peculiar to an individual. And guys, if you see me looking down here, I'm just looking at my notes because I'm premenopausal. Half the time, I can't remember my own name, okay? So, forgive me. Sometimes I'll leave one room and go to another room and look for something, and by the time I get to the other room, I'm like, what did I come in here for again? So just forgive me if you notice me looking down a little bit. I'm literally only, checking my little notes that I've got here, so I don't give you the wrong information. So in the early 17th century, idiosyncrasy meant physical constitution peculiar to an individual. So in other words, at that point, it was literally limited to the physical unique features about a particular individual. It did not extend in the early 17th century to unique ways of thinking or behaving. It was literally about maybe the way a person looked or the way they walked or something physical about them. But over time, that changed to not just be about the physical, but to incorporate ways of thinking, like unique thought patterns and unique ways of behavior as well. Right, so how can we use the word idiosyncrasy in conversation? I've been using it with you in this video, so hopefully that will give you a little bit of a grasp of how to use it just generally, but I'm going to give you an example of how you could use it in just day-to-day conversation, everyday conversation that happens. I mean, these words I'm giving you, don't save them for special occasions. They are not special occasion words. Use them every day. Include them in your regular chat, whatever you would normally say to someone. Just drop those words in there. Get comfortable with using them, because in the end, that is exactly how you're going to build a vocabulary. Because if you're only saving them for special occasions, believe me, by the time you get to a conversation where you want to use these words, you've forgotten them. They're all gone. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're not premenopausal like me, but hey, it's a good idea to just make sure that you're using these words every day and just dropping them into your everyday conversations. All right? So, say you turn up at work one morning. You know, you're in a great mood, the sun was shining. I mean, it's London. For us, sunshine is an event. So, you turn up to work, you've got your coffee in your hand, the sun is shining, you're feeling great, but you walk in and suddenly Chad with his 5 head starts acting up. Another member of staff, another colleague looks at you like, oh my God, here he goes again. All you need to do in that situation is just smile and say, oh, don't worry about it, that's Chad's idiosyncrasy. So guys, tell me in the comments, what's your idiosyncrasy? What is that thing that is unique about the way you think, the way you talk, the way you do things? What's unique about you? Tell me in the comments what your idiosyncrasy is, or indeed if you know anyone else that has an idiosyncrasy, tell me what it is in the comments. And I'll see you next time for our next word.